What's going on, boys and girls? Hey, listen, today we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Etat Libre d'Orange, and I don't know much about this fragrance other than that it is for my ladies out there. So, ladies, strap up. We're going for that ride. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. I was pleasantly surprised to see that this was a fragrance for men and women, or sorry, for women, because I think everything we've crossed so far has been unisex. So from the house, we have Putain de Palaces. For women, again, just to clarify, it's classified as a floral fragrance for women, launched in 2006, 20 years ago. So this brand's been around for at least 20 years, and there is a house story on it, so I will read it. This is supposed to be, by the way, 3.83 out of 5, so below mass appeal score, but surprisingly, it's got 4,321 votes with 500 reviews. So a lot of people have put their nose to it. So I would say that this is kind of classified as like a subpar fragrance for women. But maybe it was of its time and popular at a certain point. This is supposed to be a sheer sensuous fantasy. The powdered top evokes a woman who dresses for seduction. Okay, so it's really just talking about a lot of notes. Doesn't every woman have the fantasy of being a temptress in a hotel bar, of yielding to desire in the intimacy of a lift, or giving a lift, meaning like a cab, or of giving way to sensuality in silk sheet luxury? Okay, so hearing that kind of, narrative or whatever as far as the marketing, something like this would have been written pre-marketing. Like it's marketing, but not as crazy as today. Like we're in a field now where it's like everything is like AI marketing, very like carbon copy marketing, very generic. So hearing them try to weasel their way through poetry and narrative there scratches my curiosity to look into the brand a little bit more and see what the story is, especially being that they've been around for 20 years. That longevity must be respected. I'm really curious to see what the French feel of this house and kind of where the brand started, because their scents feel very like unfamiliar, off the beaten path, mysterious across the board so far. So I kind of want to see what's impacted that narrative and even that scent profile, like culturally and stuff. But anyways, this is a women's scent. Ladies, I hope you guys love a male's perspective on women's scents, because that's all I can offer you. 2 sprays on the hand, 2 on the strip. I do appreciate this discovery set. I can't say that enough. 25 to 30 bucks, 22 mLs, great atomizers, great marketing, great art. I mean, just for a good time's sake, worth every penny. Worth every penny as far as being able to go on a nose journey, not break the bank, smell niche, independent scents. And I just get a ton of powder, by the way, off of this blast for the initial impression. I'm going to pull up my notes for a second. Since we're taking care of the ladies today, I want to make sure I hit all my checkpoints. Powdery, somewhat aldehydic, mostly powdery. I mean, this almost smells like Johnson & Johnson baby powder. I'm not indifferent to that smell, but as a fragrance, fresh pack of diapers. Balanced to perfection. I mean, if you told me this was supposed to smell like baby powder, 10 out of 10. As far as femininity and things like that, though, youthfulness and all that, like I think this scent is out of place in 2026 by a long shot. And also you got to ask yourself, like, what girl or woman wants to smell like baby powder? It's called baby powder for a reason. And you can take it to a metaphorical sense and say like youthfulness, eternal life, life itself, and elaborate to as like a scent memory, but as a practical scent a woman would wear. I just don't see this crossing it. But as a scent and that connection, now again, the marketing is supposed to be a sensual kind of alluring woman, but this must have been a scent of the times, you know, because women's scents have traditionally, not all of them, but many of them have followed a kind of Chanel-ish, you know, aldehydic, light floral, angelic, powdery sweetness style for centuries. So I think this probably would have been very actually appropriate for its time period. But even 2006, where was I? I was a junior in high school. So, you know, women were rocking, you know, the regular name brands and stuff. So it's almost like if this said it came out in like 1986 or something, I feel like it would be more culturally appropriate. But 2006, I still think it would have been somewhat dated. And the problem with baby powder and aldehydics and musks and things like that, you got to be very careful because body odor really jacks these up and puts an instant stank on them where they smell really angelic, but then they've got this dirty twang to it. Yeah, not all that to me, but as a scent, it is balanced. It is complete. You know, this might have been like a mod for some of the original Chanel's or something. Not bad. Let's switch windows, give you guys some helpful information, and then we will call it a day, ladies, especially since I probably won't rate this too highly. Powdery notes: violet, leather, musk, amber, rose, ginger, mandarin. This smells like baby powder. I don't get the leather. I get buttloads of musk behind a very powdery scent. I can almost feel the powder. And obviously you get the slight scentedness of, you know, rose and orange, just the tiniest bit. Like we're talking less than 10% of the fragrance. 80% powder, 70% powder, 20% musk, 10% rose and lily of the valley, but I get a slight powdery, slight chalky rose kind of scent to it. It's not bad. It is pleasant, but it's a fine line kind of fragrance. Moderate performance and sillage. I could see this lasting most of the day, but it would just turn into a beautiful skin scent after 4 to 6 hours to me. What are some of the contents or comments? It's a staple in their collection since its launch, just like Secretions Magnifique. Yeah, but that's not really a compliment, you know. Secretions Magnifique is almost like the, I forget that art piece. It's like a porcelain toilet stapled on a wall. Edvard Munch. No, that's the Scream. I used to be an art major. I'm just naming artwork at this point. The Secretions Magnifique is not classified as a masterpiece in the world of perfumery. It's a joke. Everybody wants to say they've smelled the Secretions fragrance, you know, because of the name and the branding. It's not a good scent. So calling this a staple, but then attaching it to that is not really, you know, maybe this was a breakout scent for them for femininity when it dropped. Look, one moment stinky, next minute soapy, then stinky, soapy again. It changes with the wind direction. That's my fear of a scent like this. Let's go ahead and wrap up, give some closing thoughts. I think this is year round. It's a little bit heavy, so fall, I think it benefits from a breeze, especially with the whole funk factor. You'll need it to air out. I think, ladies, I really think if you want to get into aldehydics and powders and roses, the best two brands to go with is going to be Chanel, obviously, is number one. And then if you want more of a vintage feel in those directions, going maybe Estee Lauder or Lancome is going to be your best option. You know, I can think of a lot of fragrances off the top of my head, specifically with Estee Lauder, but I think Chanel might be the highest interpretation of just kind of that vintage, timeless femininity in the aldehydics and the powdery and light florals and things like that. You know, the Coco Mademoiselle, the Chanel 5. I mean, all the Chanels really down the line kind of imitate this pathway. But Lancome has some great ones. Estee Lauder, definitely, when it comes to rose watery aldehydic scents and stuff like that, they've got a lot of bangers as well. As a scent, I really give this, you know, a 6. It's a complete, full-bodied, balanced scent. It's to perfection, but the scent choice is just out of place today, I think. It doesn't have a timelessness to it. This is looking at an old photograph that was really well done. Let's see. Seasons and occasions. We went over that. Age. It's a vintage scent. It feels old. Feels like old age femininity. Performance. Mid-range jumper, 4 to 6 hours. Sprays. I think we're not even going to talk that because the score was so low. The price point of this as a vintage scent, I think Etat Libre d'Orange is quite up there in price. They're like mid-tier. So I don't think this scent is really going to warrant a purchase. The fragrance is typically retail for about $190, so I think the lowest you'll probably get this fragrance is around the $100 price point. I don't think it's worth it at all. Just go buy baby powder. You'll be fine. Alternatives, we talked about that, and as a score, I give it a 6 out of 10. I hope this video was helpful for you, ladies. I really don't like to speak too much about scents for women unless they provoke kind of like a good energy to me. Like if I feel like it's something you should get your nose on, then I'll spend a lot more time talking about it. But for scents like this that I feel are quite subpar, and again, I'm not the Lord of Fragrance, I'm just giving you a male's perspective on it. I feel like just giving you the concrete information in my score is more than most women will for a scent like this. I don't think most women are going to be talking about this unless it's a video that's like 10 years old. So I hope this provided some current up-to-date value in terms of if you've been considering Etat Libre d'Orange. They are a very popular brand overseas. And so you likely have maybe come across this and said, oh, this is one of the very few women's scents. And apparently people are saying this is a hallmark staple fragrance for the brand. And maybe I might like it, I like powdery scents or musky scents. So hopefully that I dispelled some myths about the scent and gave you some value with that. Again, like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. This was Etat Libre d'Orange's Putain de Palaces. And actually, I'm quite curious. What does that mean? Can we say French to English here? French to English? It means... oh, wow. Translates to hotel whore. Yikes. Yeah, I don't think you want that in your collection, ladies. Just unless you are trying to make some kind of odd artistic statement. But anyways, love you guys. Hope you felt blessed, or hope you're having a blessed week. And hope you found this video to be valuable for you. And until next time, love you guys. Peace.